Now, what we're going to do this lesson is concentrate on what we did last lesson and make it a little bit more complicated. Okay, so you will have completed a developing viewfinder negative shape task, a meeting, and an exceeding. Some of you, may have done the 10 negative shape exceeding task. Some of you may have just done the enlarged. Okay. Some of you might have done the enlarged and you've also done the 10 negative shapes because you finished. So that's absolutely spot on. So well done. All right. Now what we're going to do is if you are developing or meeting, or you've put an R next to your work because you found these negative shapes really, really tough. Okay, what you're going to do is you're just going to transfer either your developing or your meeting viewfinder task from last lesson onto a new page. Okay, so that is if you're developing or you've put an R in your book. Right. If you're meeting, you have a choice. Okay, you'll complete either your 10 negative boxes, okay, or you'll just copy your meeting task onto the next page. If you are exceeding, you are not copying any of these at all. Okay, not at all. Instead, what you're going to do is you're going to rearrange your objects in the viewfinder. And again, anyone can do this, even developing or meeting students, okay? And once you've developed those, put those in there, you'll draw it freehand onto the next page. All right, so I will do this as an example. All right, so first of all, turn a page over. For the sake of this video, I've missed a page out. All right, what you're going to do is you've already written your learning intention and you've already written your target, which is the same as last lesson, unless you have redone your target because maybe you found this a little bit too easy or a little bit too hard. Okay, the first step, okay, is to get your ruler and draw a line underneath your learning intention and your target. Okay, if you haven't already done that, do that now. So, developing students, you are going to keep turning your page and you're going to have a go at enlarging this one or this one onto this page. Okay, so we'll do that very, very quickly. All right, now it shouldn't take you too long. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do meeting because I'm hoping that the majority of developing students will be able to copy their meeting one into their books. However, I understand some of you will need to do this one. Okay, if you think you're struggling of which one to do, all right, then don't worry, I'll come around and help you. Just put your hand up. Okay, exceeding students. Okay, you can get cracking straight away, all right, with your new items in your viewfinder, and you're just going to enlarge what you see in your viewfinder onto this entire page. Okay, so as I'm doing it for the developing students and maybe some meeting students, you can be getting straight on with it. Okay, remember meeting, you're doing either this one here or your 10 negative shapes, or you're enlarging this one that you enlarged last session. Okay, don't panic if you've not understood that. I know it's a lot of information to take in. I will come around and give you a hand if you're struggling, so just put your hands up, okay? So, developing students, we'll keep flicking it over. Okay, I'm going to work quite quickly. So I'm going to put in my halfway points again. So make sure that I get it in proportion. And look at where it comes in comparison. So I'm going to put halfway there. And I'm going to quickly put these lines in. Because then I'm going to match them up properly shortly. You can use a ruler if you prefer. Because I'll use a ruler in a second to perfect it. You've got to try and get all of these shapes the same as these shapes, just bigger. So remember, put them in quickly first. Okay, so now I've got those in really, really roughly. Okay, I'm now going to start darkening them a little bit once I'm happy, okay, that I've got the angles right. So I'm now going to look at the angle between that line and that line. I'm going to try and see, okay, if that's right. So I can see it actually needs to come up a little bit further, okay, to get that right. Okay, so now I'm happy with that line. I can leave that one, forget about that one. Okay, just make sure it's a tad darker. Or about that line that I've used as a bit of a measurement. Okay, I can also see this needs to come down a little bit more. And that needs to come down a little bit more. Because that point of the point of that negative shape there is actually in line with this bit here on the angle, okay? So now you see it curves a little bit more on the other one. And I'm happy with the angle of that one because I can see that the shape is very much the same. And now we've just got to make sure that I'm happy with this one. So I think it just comes down a tiny bit. Okay. And exactly the same at the top, but this time, personally, I'm going to use a ruler. Okay, because this was a straight pen. Okay, so once I've got all my negative shapes in and I'm happy with them, that's now where we start to put in the Roy Lichtenstein patterns. Okay, so we have a look at the Roy Lichtenstein artwork that's inside of our books. Okay, and I'm going to start off by outlining all of my lines with a black pen. If you've got a whiteboard pen or a black felt tip, please feel free. Though if you are going to use a Sharpie, can you let me know so that I can get you something to put behind your page? So it doesn't go on to the next page. Okay. Now, Roy Lichtenstein does use thick and thin lines, so I am going to use some thick and thin lines in a minute. The reason why we are going to put Roy Lichtenstein patterns in the background or in the negative shapes, okay, is because I want you to try and remember this task for quite some time. So it means that it's going to stick inside of your mind, okay, a lot more. If you've got colours, please feel free to use colour as well as a black pen. And I'm going on the fact that most of you will probably not have colours. Okay, so now I'm just going to start with patterns taken from Roy Lichtenstein. So I'm going to do thick line, thin line, thick line.